Hi, this is Dr. Taheri. Welcome to another SolidWorks tutorial. In this tutorial, we talk about advanced sheet metal feature as well as some basic concept in weldment. Let's start with something very basic. So let's go to front plane. I would make a spline on front plane by just randomly make shape like this, something like this. Now I go to feature reference geometry. I make a parallel plane to front plane with a distance of 120, and now I go to make a sketch on this plane, and I select the previous sketch and convert entity. So by that I make a mirror or projection of the previous sketch in my new plane. And then you go to sheet metal, and now here it's a very handy feature. It's called lofted bend, and all I have to do, I have to select two sketches. There are some characteristics these sketches should have, otherwise the lofted bend will not work. In this particular one it will, so I select this corner and this corner, and as you can see very easily I can create this simple, rather kind of complex in terms of bending sheet metal. And if you want to flatten it, simply can flatten it like this. I can also, it doesn't have to be these two sketches identical. What I do now will be, actually I go to loft, I go to my second sketch, I make some changes here. Let me go to here, and let's go to entity scale. So I want to scale this, and I do it to respect to one of the point here to this point, and I want to make it actually bigger, twice as big. And now when I look at what it happens now, you can see that even in this scenario I have used loft and it works. So again, you can see that can be complex. Now there are, again, as mentioned, that there are a couple of things you have to be very careful. Number one is when you do loft, so you cannot, in this case, unlike what we had in a normal lofting features, you cannot loft a closed sketch. So to show you an example, here you go here, making a sketch here on front plane, and I make just a circle, and make a front plane, go to feature, reference geometry, make a sketch parallel to the front plane, and I go to that plane, and I simply make another circle, and when I want to do the lofted bend here, it will not work, and simply the reason is that these both sketches are closed sketches, so I can't even select them. As you can see here, it cannot be selected. Next thing is, let me just close both of these, delete them both. There we go. Next thing is, if my sketch, so same as the one I had, so I stop here and I have a point that I stopped, and now I want to continue from this point. In normal case, if I do this in feature, it won't matter because it creates an actual coherent sketch. But here, if I continue from this point, and it seems like one sketch, and it should be okay. Now when I go to my plane, to the new plane, and I select this sketch, and I convert the entity. So what I see here now, and this is very important, is look at here. You see a point here that this is the intersection of these two. They are not two sketches, they belong to one sketch, but I stopped one spline and I connected the next one. So if I want to go to Lofted bend, still it won't be able to select it. And this is sometimes student will have a little problem here. Now you might ask, well, what is so good about this loft? And I give you an example here. Let me just make a new sketch, and I can see what is the capability of this. So we go to new sketch, and here what I do, I go to sketch tools, and I want to bring an actual picture. So in this particular case, it would be a kind of side view of head, and I can simply go and trace it, but I prefer here to be more accurate. I don't trace this, and instead I simply use the spline feature, and I start from here, maybe, and I continue follow this sketch. Let's continue more here. Students should be very patient here, and depends on how accurately you are following it. Your sketch become perhaps more accurate. So I'm almost done here. See more curve this side here, and when you have too many curves, so all you need to do is you just reduce the distance between your points here, and as long as you don't stop, so keep doing it. Keep doing this same thing. Just about to be done. And again, next thing you have to be careful, you don't close this. And I stop here. So I have this sketch done. I go here, I don't need the actual picture, and here I have. So I continue doing the same thing, go to feature, reference geometry, make a plane parallel to front plane with a distance of 120, and then I go to that plane, make another sketch, and I select the first sketch and I make convert entity, and now you can see here there is no extra point here, so that will definitely work. And maybe I actually go here to sketch and I do the scaling here of my new sketch. Let's say to respect to this point. Let's go here to respect to this point, and I want to reduce the size. Okay, maybe it's here good. And now I go to sheet metal and go to loft. So in loft I select this sketch and this sketch, and you see what we have here. It's kind of interesting type of illusion. So looks like this here, and then as you can see here, it changes. And again, this is just an example. I have a couple of other examples here. Let's see if I can maybe open a few more I've already made here. So go on my computer. Go to and I have, for example, a Ferrari. No, actually, this is not the one. Sorry. Go to this number 10. Here. A Lamborghini here, and this is exactly what I did. So you can see that. So this is I had a picture. This is a Lamborghini Diablo, and then I had used this feature, and I made the Lofted bent. Since we are here, I want to introduce another feature, and that is called unfold here. That comes handy because if you want to make a cut here, it's not a bad idea to make making this cut use unfold. So I use unfold here. So what you have to do is you have to select the fixed face or edge. I use this one, and bending on or folding, I unfold it here. So it means this edge is gonna open, it's gonna go counterclockwise, and here is the result. Kind of interesting. And now what I want to do is I can make a cut here. So I can simply make a cut here. So I go here and make it a sketch. I can maybe simply use let's see if I can use a spline here. So I go from here, it doesn't have to be accurate, I'm just doing it for the sake of practice. Something like this. And now I do extrude cut, just a cut there. And now I go back to sheet metal and I go to fold, and I want to fold it again. Simply I fold, and this will be the result. I can see here. I mentioned to actually my students that would be interesting if you want to just to be a little more artistic. I have actually a couple of other examples here. Let's go to, I have one Lamborghini here too, maybe this Lamborghini. So if you want to have, again, this is another one, I made some perhaps other features here. If you have this and you want to when you open this, and let me unfold it here, if you make another sketch of Lamborghini on the top of this sheet, it shows when it's unfolded, takes maybe a few seconds, and then when you fold it, then you look at the front view, there would be a Lamborghini, and when you look at the top view, another Lamborghini, and that again creates a very interesting illusion. I don't know why it takes so long, but it has quite a bit of features here. That's why maybe it's not working. You can play with this option. There are many geometries that you won't be able to do it with any other way unless you use this lofted bend. It's very handy. You can simply draw it in 2D. Yeah, that's what I mean here. So if I, instead of this kind of geometry, I would have drawn a Lamborghini here, and I would have do the extrude cut, and then I fold it. So when I look at on from the front view, so it's gonna be Lamborghini, and then when I look at the top view, it would be another one. And when I go to the angle like a 45 degree, you will see two Lamborghini on top of each other. And again, it would be kind of illusion. I let you guys perhaps explore the capacity of this feature. So there are also some questions about how you create a bend. So this is another thing. I'm just going to quickly go over it. And here, let me have a simple drawing. There's a line, let's say 500. And I go here to sheet metal, and I go to the base. I make it 500 again, so I make it just a square 500 by 500 sheet. And now, as you can see here, there's an option that's called sketch bend, and you go and select it here. It opens for you drawing, and in that drawing I make few lines here. Let's make one here from here to here, and let's make another one from here to here. Let's make another one from corner from this to this, and finally make one more in the other side here from here to here. So now I made these 4 lines, and now I want to bend it here. So simply I can use, and you can see there are other options here too. I can choose the angle, or I can choose the radius, and the outcome would be a simple fold, and I can see that I fold these things accordingly. Now I can go simply here and I can modify it. I may not need a 90 degree, I need 45 degree, and in that case, of course, it would be something like this. You can easily make a kind of like an origami, basic actually origami shapes using these features. So let me finish here, and since we are almost in the same kind of topic, I would like to also talk about weldment. So let's see what is the weldment first, and then I'll show you how to make a weldment profile, very basic. Let me make a simple line here. So I'll just make a few lines here, from here to here to here, and let me just increase this a little bit more, make it 300. And now imagine I want to make a profile, and I want to, in some way it looks like extruding this profile, but it's not called extrude because you have broken lines here. In that case, use a feature called weldment. You go to weldment, you go to structure members, and in that case you have to choose the profile here. I mean ISO, and I go to, let's just say, a square tube, and I use the biggest size, and then I simply click on it, click on the lines, and as you can see, this is what I have here. So I made a simple square cross-section tube and connect them together very nicely. Now let me go here and make a little more complicated shape. So I go to front plane, and on front plane I will make let's see, in a square shape, 500 by 500, 500 by 500, and then I go reference geometry and make a plane parallel to the front plane with a distance of 500. There we go. And I go to this plane, making a sketch, select the first one and convert entity. So I make Actually, there are two identical squares, and now I want to connect these corners. Of course, I cannot use the normal 2D sketch because 2D sketch you can only sketch in one plane, so I cannot sketch between two different planes unless I go to 3D sketch. And in that case, it simply can just connect them together. From this point goes to this point, and from this point go to this point, and two more to go. So you use the line and go from this point to this point, and last but not least, the other corner here. So I have this cube shape, and I go to structural member. I use exact same shape, the same cross section. I want to make the top face of cube. Of course, for the vertical one, I have to use a new group. I start a new group and I add those four, and this and this. For making the last one, the bottom face, I go make a new group and then connect these together. Let's go make a new group here. This group actually here should have worked here. So let's connect this. Okay. And now this is the geometry I have here. But of course, when you look at here, you don't have that kind of sharpness and smooth connection here in these corners here. So the remedy is you go back here and you go to edit features, and if you want to click hover your mouse above any of the corner and it turns to a hand or a kind of like an index finger, and double click on it, and now you have here corner treatment. And all you need to do is, because now you have 1 degree, you go to the second order and select it here. I do for the same thing for other corners here. I do for 4 above and I leave the other 4 down as they are, just in order to show you the difference. And here we go. And now when I want to see how they look like, so the top 4 one, you can see that interestingly they've cut all in 45-degree angle, very clean and nice, rather than the other ones are a little different, looks like this. So obviously you may need to make all of them the same way. What else here we can do? So let's add some kind of weldment here. So we can add either, it's called fillet bead. So that's very simple. You go select here and then select the other side. So you have actually the size of the fillet. You can increase it. So I increase that, and when I press it here, so this is what I get. Now I got an error here, so maybe this has to be deleted, and I maybe reduce it here. There's an error here. Let me just try it again. It shouldn't have happened here. So I want to do this actually. So I go to bead here. I want to not using the full length here. The length of the bead. This one make it smaller here. And then I use this face and this face. Should work, but sometimes it doesn't work here. Okay, so it says that the fillet bead length must be smaller than the fillet. So the length, yes, make it actually 1. Now I have a geometry problem. Let's just make it smaller here. It works. Sometimes the problems are just very hard to find. I remove the tangent here. That could be also a reason here. Yeah, that was a tangent problem. And you can see here now I added all these small fillet. It couldn't make tangent to both sides, obviously. And I want to modify it here. I simply go here, and I can maybe increase it here. And when it goes to the fillet, it becomes very slow because there are lots of action to be done here, and the length and the reduce increase the distance here, and make the thickness a little more. So reduce it here. Maybe I need only about maybe 4 or 5, and there we go. So you can see that I have this kind of welding here. That's one way of doing it. And the other one is, if you want to go to insert, you go to weldment, and then you go to weld bead, and that's another feature here. I'm just going this side here, and I select this, and again you can have it different way. You can have it complete, or you can have it intermittent, or you can have it from to point. And here you can see I made this kind of like a linear welding. So this is another feature. And the next thing I would love to add would be how to make a profile. So let's go here, new. So we'll make a geometry here. I'm just making something very basic. So make one circle here, another one, another one, another one, and another one, and then I add a simple construction line, and then I go to mirror the entity. I mirror this, this, and this with respect to this line. Okay, and I go to trim these entities. Oh, yeah, exactly what I wanted. So trim entity, over trim, go here, and I delete them here, just like make it looks like a cloud. And I go here to offset entity, a little more, and this is the geometry I made actually. There we go. So if I want to have this as my cross section, so what I do will be I go here to save as, and this is very tricky part here, you have to be careful. Save as, and I save it as not a part, I save it as a library feature, and then I have to save it in a specific location. I go to program file, I go to SolidWorks, go to SolidWorks data, and then it should be a weldment here. If there is no weldment profile, perhaps either it's hidden or it should be somewhere on your computer. So weldment profile, and let's go, for example, what I did as in ISO, I made a directory under my name, and here I would add here let's say test 12, test 11 and test 12. And if there will be no error here, sometimes it tells you that there are some extra features that it has to modify. Usually when you press OK and then you want to bring that profile, it tells the profile is empty. So this is very important. You don't have an extra line or anything here. So I close that now, and what I do, I go to make few lines here. So we go from here to here, to here, to here, to here, and maybe to here. And now I go to Weldment, structure member, and I go to ISO, I go to Ray, and here I have 12. And as you can see, it makes the same profile as I did. So, and this one of course is not gonna work very well because of the size. If I want to do it correctly, I go and I have the sketch here and I increase actually the size here. So let's make this let's go back here, here, and make the size here, this one, make it 600, make this one 500, 600, 500, and this is already 500 anyway. So now it's gonna look more coherent, and you can see this is my cross section. So that could be also very handy. So you have to be careful about the cross section profile. Cannot be too complex. I cannot make that Lamborghini make as a profile, or I have to be extremely careful to not have any kind of error. So I think this would be enough to cover some basic concept in Weldment. I hope this tutorial will be helpful. Thank you very much.